Russia's Ukraine invasion could imperil international science. With the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine not doing any of the nations any good, the tensions seem to be rising with every passing day. Things in the sky aren't too good either, with things not good on land. With the current war, there could be a lot of alterations taking place in the science industry. Russia has already been put under several sanctions by many countries and organizations. The current situation suggests that this war could massively impact international science and, more importantly, the entire picture of space worldwide. The current situation. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has forced around 1 million people to flee from their homes and has already seen thousands of Ukrainian civilians killed. With so many lives lost, this will have been a massive impact on industries and organizations. The political tensions are difficult to put aside as industries are mainly functional as per the government's decisions. Global efforts will massively be affected as the pursuit of technological and scientific progress is going to be hindered. With science unable to be pursued without global efforts, the unfolding crisis in Ukraine has left many people with raised eyebrows. Will Russia continue to play a significant role in the global projects, or will sanctions be extended to prevent them from being a part of the most technologically advanced time in our history? There will be an equally pivotal role of international organizations as they look to bring about advancements in science, but with this dispute being at the center stage of the world right now, they're being held back, mainly because Russia is one of the most powerful nations right now. But some things aren't bigger than humanity itself. Will Russia continue to play a role in global projects, or will its sanctions continue? International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, ITER. ITER is the largest fusion experiment globally, which involves the participation of 35 nations. This includes Russia, the United States, and China. Ever since this project began, it's been focused on replicating the fusion processes that are carried out in the sun to create unlimited and clean energy. Russia's invasion of Ukraine hasn't resulted in any notable changes to the organization's plans or work so far. There have been no impacts so far. ITER spokesperson Laban Koblenz told Life Science. ITER was launched as a collaborative project during the beginning of the Cold War. It was deemed so because of all of its members that are moving forward with the same ideology because they share a common goal to have a better future for the planet. With a sustainable future being kept in mind, it will benefit all the countries and the entire planet at the end of the day. Throughout ITER's history, political differences among its members, trade wars, border disputes, and other disagreements have never affected the collaborative spirit, Koblenz added. It is a project of peace. With the current tensions involving Russia and Ukraine, it's a surprise that Russians who are a part of this project have been sanctioned. Koblenz highlighted that even in previous times, this project was not hindered by any political instability that took place around the world. The events of recent days are without precedent, so we don't know what the effect will be. It's too early to conclude, he said. That is entirely true because it's unknown when this war will last. It's too early to call this, but we know that the Ukrainians cannot tolerate the days adding up to this dispute. Every day the Ukrainians face countless losses, which are becoming difficult to overcome. Koblenz hopes that all ITER members will remain committed to collaboration and will be able to focus on their work, which hopes to change the world for the better. Limitless energy is a concept that has been teased in films for years, but soon enough, it might become a reality. European Space Agency, ESA. The European Space Agency was one of those organizations that quickly pointed out Russia's actions and condemned them as soon as the Ukrainian invasion took off. The tragic consequences of war in Ukraine had a profound impact on the country. ESA declared that it would give absolute priority to taking proper decisions for our workforce involved in the programs and full respect of our European values. Being an institute representing both countries, a decision had to be made that benefits both of them. But there isn't a situation where a strong case could be made for Russia. ESA also stated that it would move forward and be fully implementing sanctions imposed on Russia by our member states. The agency also said that the ExoMars program, a collaborative project between Roscosmos, that's Russia's space agency, to search for life on Mars will probably be delayed. The actions of the Russian government and military aren't justified, which is why the ESA had to take such strict action. The only reason ITER didn't have the same outcome is probably that Russia is such a core member of it. Sanctions and wider context made a launch in 2022 very unlikely. ESA said, adding that it will continue to monitor the situation in close contact with its member states. Since the war isn't going to end anytime soon, it doesn't look like things will improve from ESA's side for Russia. Understandably, the Russians cannot protest against it either, since their position isn't too politically stable. International Science Council, the ISC. The ISC is a non-governmental organization that aims to unite scientific bodies to advance science for its global public good. And since they believed in playing their part, they were also one of the first scientific organizations that opposed the Russians' actions. An official statement notes the ISC's deep dismay and concerns regarding the military offensives being carried out, and suggests the conflict in Ukraine and its consequences will hamper the power of science to solve problems when we should be harnessing them. However, this statement is more or less a formality because the ISC didn't announce cutting off their ties with Russia. The isolation and exclusion of important scientific communities are detrimental to all. The ISC said, adding that to work collaboratively on global challenges and on cutting-edge research, such as Arctic and space research, is only equal to our capacity to maintain strong collaboration amidst geopolitical turmoil. This is one of those typical diplomatic statements which holds neutral ground. This might be because of Russia's strong position in this council. The ISC finally topped it off by saying that it is committed to advancing the equal participation and collaboration between scientists in all countries in its activities and the principle of the free and responsible practice of science. European Council for Nuclear Research, the CERN. CERN is home to the largest atom smasher in the world, which is the Large Hadron Collider. Regarding the Ukraine conflict, CERN has yet to give out an official statement explaining its stance in the dispute. A CERN spokesperson told Live Science they were unfortunately not able to reply to questions regarding how Russia's invasion of Ukraine will impact the international science and technology projects. For such a massive organization, being silent shouldn't be the answer. They should look to have a clear stance on any opinion they hold, even if it might be problematic. Then again, they might not be saying it because the opinion may very well turn out to be like that. International Space Station, ISS. Finally, we have the ISS, which has been long praised for cross-border cooperation between several countries. 5 space agencies are taking part in an orbiting space lab. This includes NASA, Roscosmos, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and the ESA. Things were going smoothly until the dispute in Ukraine came out of the waters. As soon as it took place, Roscosmos at the beginning of March announced that it had cancelled the joint scientific experiments that were taking place in collaboration with Germany. This arrived only a few days after Russia said it wouldn't continue assisting ISS in its ventures. The Associate Administrator of the Space Operations Mission Directorate and NASA's most prominent official on human spaceflight, Kathy Lueders, said, "We understand the global situation, but these teams are operating together as a joint team." She added, "We are not getting any indication at a working level that our counterparts are not committed to the ongoing operation of the International Space Station. But with every problem, there's always a solution to tackle that problem." And the man of the moment, Elon Musk, stepped in where he tweeted that if Russia pulled out of the ISS project, then SpaceX would be there to fill its void to keep the ISS operational. Considering the already healthy ties SpaceX has with ISS, it wouldn't be crazy if this partnership materializes soon. It all depends on what Roscosmos' next move is going to be. With Russia being sanctioned on so many fronts, it doesn't look like things will get better in the coming days. The biggest organizations in the world have had their say, and the ones that haven't are most likely going to go against Russia. Before tensions escalate further, it is hope that keeps us believing that these severed ties will be fixed soon enough. That's all we had for this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any upcoming videos from us.